All right, hello.
Hey.
I think you're framed in there all right. It's hard to tell from my end because it sort of blocks it up, but I can sort of see both of you.
I mean, I guess we could check on our phones.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's
yeah.
all right. I can see Kylie. John's behind the thing. So
Oh,
That's
okay.
fine.
welcome back to Fairbanks.
Thank you. Yeah.
How was your time in Antarctica this time?
It's great.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Everything kind of looked like it looked last year, so.
Yeah, that was.
McMurdo was a little difficult, but South Pole was beautiful.
Any big differences? Anything from last time to this time? You're like, oh my gosh, my experience has really helped me get along this time.
We had
I didn't get altitude sickness.
Yeah.
That was nice.
We had a particularly easy time at South Pole too. The instrument was just in really good condition.
It looked the same as what we left it at.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point.
That's what you. That's like
That's ideal.
You cross your fingers and you hope that but that's never what happens.
You did post at the end, right? You had someone who was going to help you out, and you jumped in a truck.
Yeah. That was the AGO guys. Yeah, that was for the last couple days right before we left. We were battling an issue of optical alignment. So our instrument's basically a big camera, and but our components are more movable, and we have actually two optical trains. So it's like having two lenses in your camera that are going to two different directions, and we got to line those up. We had a bit of an issue with that, and it was just one that shouldn't have existed. I still don't have a full understanding of what happened and like how it happened. And I even went and talked to Mark, our PI, on it, and he was like, it just shouldn't happen. Like what had happened? But yeah, we really just spent a long time just trying to do things inside what I thought would work to solve this problem, and it wasn't getting anywhere. And then just right at the last minute, basically 3 hours or so before we were heading out on the plane, one of the AGO guys, they do these very, very remote Alaska or Antarctic science. We were just talking. We were finishing a conversation that we had in Christchurch in the Science Center, and he was like, "Hey, do you want me to just go take a look at this thing?" And I was not going to say no to that. And so yeah, I got a truck, and we just
Kylie, I'll be right back. I'll make the flight.
Well, we were.
He didn't tell me
Yeah,
anything.
we were close enough to leaving that we were basically packing up, and she was, I think, packing up over in the 155, and I was over in Prairie. And anyway, me and him just shot up there, and we got it fixed. Turned out it was not an optical. I mean, it was an optical problem, but the roots of it were it was a mechanical problem, and so we were able to tighten up a tensioner or a tensioner pulley on the belt, and that solved our problem. And close the door, and off we went.
What a great story of last minute down to the final minutes, getting something sorted out, collaboration, and then just random sort of meeting.
And it was really cool. At first I'd been losing a lot of sleep over that problem because I just couldn't understand it, and that really just bugs me. I was just really, and I couldn't figure out.
Do you have to deal with it? Does it just go on and on about these sort of things to you?
No comment.
No. Oh, good. That's nice.
But
you were losing sleep.
Yeah. I was just really I couldn't get it off my brain. But just luckily, this guy with the AGO programs. So thank you to you guys. He was able to kind of come at it from a different angle, and it was cool. It was really cool to be able to work with them. We try to, it's something that happens a lot in Antarctica. Is you're on this continent that has, no real infrastructure other than McMurdo, where you're at, and then South Pole, and it's like even that is very remote and difficult infrastructure. So you're really
there's a lot of collaboration.
Yeah.
Everyone just tries to help each other.
Yeah.
We're mostly just there for the science, and everyone's there for the science, so.
And then you can be like, hey, let's just work together.
Yep.
Yeah. If you have the ability to help somebody, you don't think about it. You just do it. You just do what you can.
I think that's like the epitome of being a human being.
Yeah, it's like it's a really cool thing about being down there. Like Kylie was just saying, it's all about the science, and so you really get to all the things that you kind of idealize. You get to experience down there.
I loved the selfies with the SDI.
Oh yeah.
How did you make that work? How did you make this piece of equipment that's supposed to look so far above our planet take a picture of Kylie when she's right there.
Yeah. So it's an optical imaging system. So I've got my camera here. Our SDI is basically like this camera. We have a body at the bottom of it. We actually have a Nikon lens in the optical train, so you could connect.
See, this is good product placement.
Yeah. This Canon camera. Yeah.
That's another. We won't get into that.
Yeah. There's no others worth mentioning. But no. So we have an optical train that looks a lot like this. So at the end of the day, it's actually it's a scientific purposed, very expensive, very precise version of this, but it's basically a camera. And so what we do is we just point it up into the sky. And so Kylie had come across the path that it was viewing.
I was sitting on the roof in the 40-mile-an-hour wind for hours. It was great.
Make it sound so simple.
Yeah.
And then for his photo, he just ran up there and posed. And then, I'm done.
That's the way to do it.
Go back inside to the warm building.
Well, I think it's great that you're finding, I'm assuming that all of your work using it for the science, it makes it so you can use it for more sort of fun, personal things, and it can all work together.
So that photo that I took of Kylie, we were doing a calibration of the instrument. She was just over the instrument while we were doing it.
I was blocking the sun. Because when the sun's in the view, it just kind of saturates everything.
So you were just like...
So I had to block the sun and do adjustments.
Yeah.
And bam.
Yeah. And then he's just not telling me where the camera is sitting. He's taking photos instead of doing what he's supposed to be doing. Yeah. There's actually a folder on that computer of just screenshots of us.
That'll be great. We'll share that over the summer. Thank you so much. You guys were both so involved with members of the group, really engaging with them. And I think you sent a seal to
one of my friend's mothers was a teacher, and she shows her class the things we do. So we sent her a letter and then a little seal from the South Pole. So.
Which is just amazing, and it's so great. I was mentioning it to Kylie a little bit before. We were watching, of course, I was at my parents' house and watching the stuff that was going on in the group, and we get so excited about Antarctica and sort of the legends and the stories of Antarctica. We watched an Antarctica documentary that talked about the Frosty Boy.
Oh, yeah.
In McMurdo Station. So I just wanted to check with Kylie if Frosty Boy was still a thing, and she said yes.
Yeah. We had Frosty Boy, I think, at least once a day.
Yeah. So for the thing I heard about Frosty Boy, it's just a machine. It produces some sort of thing that's not ice cream.
It's not ice cream.
It's like melted plastic, kind of.
But everybody loves it.
Yeah.
It's weird. It doesn't unfreeze because I'm kind of weird. I stir my ice cream, and that stuff doesn't melt. It just kind of stays in whatever state it's in. It's really strange.
Do you eat it because everybody else is eating it? Or
I think
so. A couple days in, you'll love Frosty Boy.
It's like Stockholm Syndrome.
You're
there, you're eating the Frosty Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you had it 4 times in one day.
I don't know, 4. Yeah, maybe 4.
Yeah. Don't lie.
That was McMurdo Station, though, and that's the big center of the civilization, for lack of a better word.
That's really where the population is in Antarctica.
It's 750 people.
Yeah, they'll push
the big population.
The big population center.
Yeah. They'll peak at just over 1,000.
Yeah.
And the thing you shared this year that I hadn't seen before was the New Year's Eve.
That was the first time we were there. So.
Yeah, we hadn't seen it before.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, because you were at the pole.
Yeah.
Previously, we've done Christmas at McMurdo and New Year's at the pole, and this year we did Christmas at the pole and New Year's at McMurdo. So.
And so we'll talk about this music festival. Look at the pictures. If people in the group can go down, you can see them. We'll talk about the race around the pole later.
Did we post any videos from that?
Not yet.
We should.
Yeah, my laptop died, and all of my video was on. I got a call.
What did you do, John?
Yeah.
Did you get a new piece of technology?
I did. It's right here.
Let's talk about how your old one died, because you threw it off a table once.
That is.
Were you frustrated with the?
No.
He walked into a cord.
Yeah. I'm the opposite, kind of destructive. Yeah, just aimlessly destructive.
Well, actually, that's the scary thing, because you need all the equipment that you've got. You can only use the stuff that you pack down there.
Yeah.
And the computer is something that other scientists can't be sure, I'll lend you my knowledge, but not my computer. I kind of need that.
So it's actually kind of funny, because we do backups when we're down there, so we get sent down with hard drives, and we each take, I think we had 2 hard drives each.
Yeah.
And I always get terrified because he puts them in his checked bag. That's a duffel bag. That's squishy. It's like, what are you doing?
I never had an issue with them.
But you did with your laptop.
I did, yeah. So no, the laptop just, I think it's actually okay. I think I brought it back now. It's 5 years old, and so it's fallen apart. And
it is now.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh no, it's been through significantly worse many more times.
But you got a new piece of technology.
Yeah, I got a new one. Yeah. So
did you shop while you were there?
Yeah. No, I was in the Crary, after work, and I bought it while I was down there. Yeah. It was so I wanted as little. The type of work that I do requires a lot of intense computing, and it requires a pretty specific ecosystem. So I kind of need a piece of hardware dedicated to what I'm doing. So I needed that as soon as I got back to keep working. I'm basically dead in the water without something like that. So.
Well, I'm sure there'll be a question posted in the group about the specifications for your computer, so they can have the Elliott computer built right for them.
This one's a pretty cool one.
The music festival.
Yeah.
Sorry. I got distracted. I couldn't get pictures in there.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about it. They looked great. They looked like a lot of fun.
I think it started at 4 and went till 1 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
But it's right outside the dorms, too, which is kind of interesting if anyone actually wants to sleep on New Year's. I don't know why you would do that. But.
Just any scientists that are there, they bring their instruments down? Do they
live
with it?
Have a band room down there.
Yeah. So health and wellness is a big thing to NSF. So they have lots. They'll allot money and funds and time just for people to kind of relax, because it's a tough environment down there mentally, So you're going through 24-hour periods of sun, 24-hour periods of dark. You're completely cut off from the rest of the world, except for a somewhat poor internet connection that's up and down. So stuff like this is really good for people to just kind of let some steam off and relax and just kind of enjoy themselves for a little bit. And that's really what it was. It's just.
Did you guys perform?
No, there were some really good bands though. Yeah, the Monotones.
Monotones.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah.
They sang Adele in monotone. Yeah.
Also, What the Fox Say?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Are you sure it was really good, or are you so isolated from your regular entertainment?
It's more that.
It was the best within thousands of miles. It really was. It was also the only.
And then you also shared images of a Christmas morning race around.
Yeah.
Race around the world.
Race around the world in these crazy costumes.
Yep.
And a snow machine pulling a sofa.
Yeah.
Which I was hesitant to share those pictures. Because I thought people would be like, those are dangerous, but nobody said they were dangerous.
No.
There is a safety officer at the
side.
Yeah.
Okay. But that looked like a lot of fun. As well. Talk a little bit about
Let's not talk about him.
Yeah. The safety officer is pretty wild.
I have a video of him sledding too, and I think he crashes pretty hard. So it's pretty funny.
But
we can share the Antarctica outtakes, the blooper. The blooper reel. So the race around the world.
Yeah, so the race around the world is just over 2 miles, 2.1 miles, and it covers 360 degrees of longitude. It goes around the pole, so you hit all time zones.
That is amazing.
It also runs you around the South Pole Station. It runs you by the airfield, the ice cube neutrino experiment, the South Pole telescope, the BICEP experiment, and then you come back and you go to the ceremonial pole. And that's where you start and finish.
Did you guys race or just?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Did you win?
No, I got like 30th place. 30th. out of 45, I think.
Oh, so
I think when we had gotten there like less than a week beforehand, it's hard to acclimatize to that altitude fast. So people who are more acclimatized were probably doing a lot better.
Yeah, that was. I got about 100 yards out of the gate, and then the altitude just kicked my butt, and so then I kind of just started to take some more photos.
I thought that it was interesting how you mentioned that it's a morning thing. It's a morning off of work for people to do that. And then it's right back to doing the stuff that you got down there to do.
For us it is, because we're on a short time scale, but a lot of people will kind of take the day off.
Everyone they kind of shifted their weekend. So they worked through the weekend and then had New Year's Eve and New Year's off.
So they could make a plan around for that, for that holiday with the work they were doing. John, I want to ask you something about... I want to prepare yourself before I ask you about the snow beast.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So you posted a bunch of pictures of this, what looks like just a snow blower,
Yeah,
snowplow thing?
It's like an extreme one.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So I've got this like degree in physics and all this other stuff, but I think I actually would rather be a snow beast driver. Like
in the Werner Herzog documentary, he talked to some people who live there all the time and work there, and they seem to be these. They say when you don't have anywhere to fit in the world, you fall down to the bottom, and everybody sort of collects down there in Antarctica to do the job. So, are we seeing the future John Elliott?
Oh
like 20
man,
years from now,
if there is
just
ever,
driving the
yeah,
snow beast?
if that ever comes open, whoever makes that decision, yes, I want to drive the snow beast.
How big is the snow beast?
It's large. It's.
I mean, you can see photos. I think we posted photos where there's a person.
Yeah, with a
they
person
just walk
on it.
behind it.
And what does it do?
behind
Does it just clear off where the pole is? Does it just keep
It's
roads
the old
open?
station. What are
So
those?
the underground storage is getting so much snow on top of it that the roof's starting to collapse, and so it's not safe to take heavy equipment and clear that off on the roof. So they need a smaller piece of equipment. So this is smaller than a piece of heavy equipment.
The snow beast is smaller.
Yeah.
Do
And
they have the snow pet? Is there a little?
yeah.
That's called a shovel.
But it was great to see just your excitement about the snow beast. Really
Oh yeah,
came
it's
through.
good. It like
And also Kylie's eye rolls about the snow beast also came through
Yeah.
in the.
this is just like this big machine with a funnel on the end, and it shoots snow like 80 feet. I mean, it is just. I can't imagine a better way to spend a day.
In the snow beast.
Yeah, the snow beast. Yeah.
Did you guys go down in the tunnels again, or after last year? Because you saw that last year. Like we don't need to go down in the creepy tunnels.
I tried a couple times to go down there, but the holiday you have to.
The timing didn't work out.
Yeah, so you have to check out the firehouse. You have to get an official tour from a person that's working, and so I think we made 2 or 3 attempts, but we weren't able to get it.
You got
So.
stuff that you're going on.
Yeah.
The other thing that was sort of happening while you were there was the guy who was dragging his sled across Antarctica, the first person who like.
Oh yeah,
pulled his sled
there was
all
2
the
of
way
them, I
across
think,
there.
wasn't
So
there?
I didn't know if you if you.
They
guys
were
had-
there.
yeah.
They were at the South Pole a few days before we got there, and then they took off.
The guy man-hauling, he showed up just after we left. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it was just it was just a weird coincidence to see all that stuff in the news.
Yeah.
And you guys are down there, and I'm assuming that if you had crossed paths, you would like, here's that guy.
Yeah, there were a few different things going on. The man-hauler though, he was I think he showed up the day we left, but we left like in the middle of the day, I think, and he showed up in the evening, if I remember.
How do you even define day? When the
Yeah. Day is
Christchurch time.
Yeah. Any time in November, December, January.
Yeah.
Day is my watch says AM.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's so interesting that there's people who are still like discovering and exploring and doing the adventure part of Antarctica, which is kind of your office.
Yeah. Yeah. It's still a wild unknown.
There was the South Pole Traverse was down there when we were. The Russian Traverse came and parked their cars for a day or a night. They weren't even there for a day. And then there were the Arctic truck guys who were
Is that
doing
something
a
that
trip.
since you work there and you do science there, do you see that as a distraction from the science, or is it?
It's pretty
just
entertaining,
Just
actually.
highlights.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The guys with the Arctic trucks were hilarious. They loaded their equipment. They were out at the tourist camp, which is like, what, 3/4 of a mile away or something?
Yeah, probably.
Half a mile. And they loaded their equipment into the trucks, drove out to the ceremonial pole, unloaded all their equipment, like their bikes and their skis, and then took photos at the pole, put it back in the trucks, and drove back to the trucks.
Just for the photo op.
Yeah, and we're just watching this from the cafeteria, like, looks over the pole, and we're all just, like, watching, like, what are they doing? It's very funny. It was very funny.
The other thing you posted was the tourists that sort of landed and they can have their trip to the South Pole and then fly off and go back to their resort. And it is such an exotic sort of romantic place. What's it like to be there and just it be your job?
It's cool. Yeah. It's really cool.
Very lucky that we get
Belinda asked, she wants to know more about the last minute collaboration to fix the problem. I asked about that first, Belinda, so you can go back and watch.
Oh,
I just want to make sure that I address the questions as they come up. Because it is, and I want to ask you this, even though you might not be able to answer, are you going back again?
We won't know until Mark decides.
I'm probably not. I'm just about done here at the university.
Probably.
So, yeah. I got 3 good trips, so.
Mark has to put in the request in, I think he's supposed to do it in April. I'm not entirely sure about that.
I think that's the deadline, but you can, there's a little bit of.
We'll find out
we'll see
in April or May.
Who's going to be down there for the social window.
We'll make an announcement.
Yeah.
We'll let John do it since it's his last
John,
time.
does that mean that if you graduate from here, are you looking for other places to go? Like, is your research going to take you to the next level, or or are you just going to join the faculty in the GI? Or you just stay here and then you're going to be the new Mark Conley?
I don't know what I'm going to do.
No pressure.
But yeah.
That's it.
I don't think Mark's ready to retire yet. It might be hard to take his job.
I don't know. I don't know what I'll do, but probably the nature of the work. Before I was working here, I was running my own business in artificial intelligence and computer vision stuff, and I kind of liked that a lot. I kind of liked it. I enjoyed that. So I'll probably go do that again, and that actually takes me out of Alaska, almost certainly.
So how long do you have Kyle left here for your studies? However long.
Yeah, until I'm done.
You're done. I actually saw Mark Conde at AGU. Not only was he presenting in his panel with all of his other, official smart people doing this stuff, but just sitting around a table with some other, students and scientists just doing this thing on his laptop. And I was like, do you know who that is? I had no idea. But it was just, I didn't go over and bother him because I was starstruck myself because he inspires me in the work that he does.
So he's got decades of amazing work that he's done, and he's done these collaborations that are world class. He is literally all over the world doing stuff, but it's really, he goes through extreme pains to include people in the undergraduate level, in the graduate level, people who are not in physics programs even. A lot of people I think that communicate with him don't know, because he doesn't present himself as, I'm this world researcher. This world-class researcher. And it's really kind of a cool thing working with him is, he's just very approachable, just a regular guy until you ask him something about, the thermosphere or aeronomy, and he's like, yeah.
It's like, oh, right, you're super smart and super talented. Is that one of the reasons you like working here and why you want to finish your studies here rather than going somewhere else? Is people like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark's the reason I'm here.
Yeah. Well, there's other researchers that are a lot like Mark that we get to collaborate with, and that's really nice too. Don Hampton, Bill Bristow.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't be here if he didn't have peers here that were supporting.
Right. Yeah. And they all kind of work together too, so their research is similar.
Sarah Manriquez asks, what is the altitude in Antarctica?
9,304 feet.
There you go.
At the South Pole.
What's the sort of mood? I can talk to you guys all day. I know we've got other stuff to do, so we'll wrap it up here in just a minute. But the mood at AGU, a lot of stuff there. The scientists about climate change and the melting Arctic and the thawing Antarctic. Scientists sort of been like, we've been telling you, nobody's really listening, nobody's really taking the warning. What was the mood of the scientists that were down there with you? Could you tell, like, people just like, is climate change a big worry? Is it like dinner time conversations and stuff like that?
So one thing I got to say really quick was that's 9,304 feet of almost all ice.
Okay. So you take the ice away, and then how high?
It's not. So there's enough ice that it's actually depressing the surface a little bit. So it's a bit of a variable question because it will rebound a little. But it's very close to sea level. I don't know the answer to that, but I know it's.
So if the ice all melted.
Yeah, I don't know. It would not be very, very high above sea level, but I don't know what it is.
The ice all melted, wouldn't sea level change?
So you get about a 200-foot rise in sea level if all the ice melted in Antarctica. But that's...
So, Sarah, your question is very complicated.
The ice is so heavy, though, it's depressing the crust a little.
That's amazing.
Yeah. The climate change, though, we went to get ice cream, actual ice cream, at the South Pole.
At the South Pole. They have real ice cream.
So they have real, let's get this straight. So they have real ice cream at the South Pole.
Yeah, which is...
At McMurdo Station, it's the Frosty Boy.
It's the Frosty Boy, yeah.
Which is not in any way...
It's coconut oil, yeah. It's,
I don't know how that works.
But everybody eats it. It's
yeah.
But they have real ice cream at the South Pole.
We had went to the mess hall to get ice cream, and there was actually a talk about climate change and research done at the South Pole. And it was a really good talk. It was about 30 minutes long, and it was from the scientists that are performing experiments about the melting of the ice in Antarctica. And there's a considerable amount of concern over that right now. And the calculations on the rate of melting. They were underestimated previously, and so we're finding that actually the rate of melting is a little faster than we had previously thought, and it's growing. Antarctica is losing more ice than we had previously been losing. And so there is a lot of concern, especially among scientists that are studying this, that we're not trending the right way with that.
I don't think there's a lot of debate down there, though.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
think
so in the
everyone's kind of on the same page.
It's happening.
There's
the world is doomed.
There's the discussion you would have around the Thanksgiving dinner table or whatever, and then there's the discussion you'd have in the scientific community. And then the discussion in the scientific community is not over whether climate change is happening. It's about the data that we're getting, we're collecting. I mean, the
More
climate.
of how it's happening.
Yeah.
Because
the climate is changing. The global is warming. These are measurements. These are things that we can empirically just look at the data and know the answer, and then move on to the next step in the scientific community.
And hopefully, science can lead policy and everything.
Yeah.
That's a whole other. I was just curious.
Yeah.
The thing that comes from that caught my attention was there are science lectures for scientists happening at a scientific base.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys do a presentation?
like
yourself?
Science Sundays or something.
Yeah, Mark was. I think we might have flown out. No, I think he might have given it. Anyway, the day he was scheduled to give one when he was down there with me 2 or so years ago. They're really common and they're really enjoyable. I mean, you've got a bunch of scientists together, and they're stuck, in Antarctica in a base, so they're going to talk about science.
And in a way, then you can practice your presentation for other things.
Yeah.
There was something. Someone posted about Dale Pomerang.
Oh yeah.
And how he could help you make some tool, and then you posted, well, I just happened to see him in a corridor the other day.
We actually we took off the domes on the McMurdo instrument, and Dale's name was right there.
Oh,
yeah.
We
So
didn't know.
how many other people from UAF were down there?
I usually see a couple people every year from there. And, this year it was Andrew Winkleman. So hey, Andrew, and and it was Dale. And as some people might know or might not know, there's been a really good article written about him. You guys, we should find a way to link that in. Dale is like a mechanical superhero. I mean, the guy he can put anything together. He's got 1,000 stories about putting things together and traveling out in these remote locations. And at the end of my life, if I lived half as much as he has, I'll be happy.
Well, when you're driving the Snow Beast.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
Tools that you've made. What do you guys need? Just call Elliot. He'll come over here. He'll sort it out.
I got 14 hammers in the Snow Beast.
It is amazing, and you're right. I'll post that link in the group. That researchers come to Dale and they're like, I need something that does this that no other tool can do. And it's like, I'll make that.
Yeah, and it's beautiful when
it.
So he's been an integral part to the assembly of the Antarctic SDIs that we have. And everything that he's put his hands on is just significantly improved, and so a lot of the ease that we get going down there each year is a direct result of the work that he did. So
last year you went down, you maintained the instruments.
Yep.
You get back down there this year, you see the work you did last year.
Yep.
And maintain itself. And so next year, whoever gets to go down, you'll see that the work that you did this year is leading.
The whole thing will probably be on fire next year.
No.
You were the last one in the McMurdo study, so I don't trust it.
The monotones will set fire to the rain.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for all that you did for the group, for engaging so much with the people. I think there was, at the end of last year, was about 150 people in the group, and this year we got well over almost 300, almost 400 people in the group now, and that is because of the stuff that you guys share and how friendly and just engaging and awesome you are to share and take the time from your work to post in this group to let us know some of the stuff that's going on. It's really, really inspiring and fun to see, so thank you so much.
Well, thank you, and I just would say thanks to everyone that was participating. We had so many people that were.
It's cool to see everyone's interaction.
You guys interact with us. It makes us want to interact back with you, and so the whole thing just kind of builds, and it's quite enjoyable for us to do. Even
though it's hard with limited internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that using those resources for this is just it fills my heart with love. So thank you so much.
Yep.
Anything you want to say?
Thank you to Mark.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Yeah, thanks to NSF for putting the whole thing together.
You
our
set for
passengers.
getting us down there.
Yep.
Eventually.
Did you go over to the Snow Beast and just sign it?
No, but I should have. Yeah.
Okay, I know you guys will answer questions, and I know you've got some videos and stuff that we'll
Yep.
slowly be seeing in the group. So the group's going to stay active over the next few months, and then we'll know. Who knows? We'll see from there.
Yep. Yeah, we got more content, so stay tuned.
I don't
we
think I
ju-
posted anything.
No, you did. We got a little. That's always.
I think
when
you got a
when
penguin
see,
from
when I
me.
see a post from Kylie, I'm always like, Kylie posted. Oh my God.
Well,
So-
this year it was really John was covering the Facebook page and I was covering the
You
GI.
did, yeah. So
Yeah.
there is.
Yeah.
If people in the group haven't gone and looked over at the GI Instagram,
The
'cause you did
UAF.GI,
Instagram.
yeah.
There's beautiful pictures on there and some
Those
really,
are mine.
really awesome.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, we did a divide and conquer this year.
It was a big success. It was a big success. Thank you so much, you guys.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks.